Ladies and gentlemen, you have stuck with us for a long evening of fights, and I'm glad you did because you do not want to miss what we have in store for you right now. It's our first title fight of the evening. Making his way to the ring and fighting out of the red corner, it's Anthony Garcia.
Hello, friends, and welcome back to TCB 40 for the first title fight of the evening. This is the 125-pound modified Muay Thai title with Anthony Garcia now approaching the ring. This is a 21-year-old upstart at 4-1 out of ground control. He has earned this title shot now, coming on in with a blazing record and a blazing pace in his matches. He stands at 5'7".
No. He's facing somebody who has 17 fights. He only has 5, but this isn't a surprise to me. When we're getting at this level now, like we're talking about titles, you're not always going to see the same experience levels fighting each other. As much as we love that, like in our earlier bouts, you also want to give rewards to people who are winning. If you're on like maybe a 4-fight win streak that this guy could be on, at some point you got to give him tests, and this is a great test. Just because you're low experience doesn't mean you're low danger. Sometimes the most dangerous people are the ones who have belief in themselves, who have hard skills, but are still figuring out where their ceiling is at. Those are the people that are most dangerous because they got the least amount of fear. I think Anthony Garcia has earned his way here. He's come from a great gym and ground control up in Maryland. They are consistent. They put out high-level talent, international talent, world title contender level talent, possibly at times. But now they have this young upstart, 21 years old, in the flyweight division, 125 pounds, coming in and trying to, make a name for himself here at TCB.
Yeah, certainly the case that if you're at this level, you've already made a name for yourself to some degree here in TCB, but this is the way to etch yourselves into the annals of history here, and you can see how many supporters he has in the crowd as he's going to be gunning for this 125-pound modified Muay Thai title. Let's throw it back over to Chris Fuller to see who his opponent is.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the champ is here! Making his way to the ring and fighting out of the blue corner, it's Josh Otero.
Josh Otero, the reigning champion of this modified Muay Thai title division. He is 26 years old with a storied history here in TCB. As you said, Liam, he's fighting out of Shift Combat Sports, and he sports an 11-6 record, standing at 5'8".
Now, one of the big things, as we said, it's a title bout. How does that change things? The round lengths do not change. We're still 2-minute rounds. These are sprints. These are not long affairs. However, these boys will be going 5 times, 5 rounds available if we need all 5 of them. The last 2 we will be referring to as the championship rounds. Now, they are also no shin guards. This is a title bout, so you are testing that with all the almost rules available to a professional. I'm excited. Obviously, when we get to title bouts, we're also going to see, like we had some of those questions of fighters who came on late in the 3rd rounds of their bouts earlier tonight. Now you are given that opportunity to, hey, if you build late and you have the cardio for it, you're going to be able to go to work for 2 extra rounds tonight. This is also one of the big questions on Anthony Garcia. Does he have 5-round experience? Does he have 10 minutes of combat sports in him? So far, he's only been allowed to try out 6.
And Josh Otero enters into the ring with Shift Combat Sports by his side, marching out like demons from hell. He's got the cape and he's got the attitude ready to defend his title against this up-and-comer Anthony Garcia. Angel Ortiz currently consulting with the blue corner. Let's throw it back over to Chris Fuller to make this fight official.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, this is our first title fight of the evening. It is scheduled for 5 2-minute rounds in the TCB 125-pound division. It is brought to you by our friends at Freedom Bail Bonds. Everybody loves freedom. And now, starting out, fighting out of the red corner, he is the challenger, standing 5'7", weighing in at 125 pounds, fighting out of ground control. He brings a record of 4 wins and only 1 defeat. It's Anthony Garcia. His opponent, fighting out of the blue corner, standing 5'8" and weighing in at 125 pounds, fighting out of Shift Combat Sports with an impressive record of 11 wins and only 6 defeats. He is the reigning, defending TCB 125-pound champion. It's Josh Otero! Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this bout is scheduled for 5 2-minute rounds in the TCB 125-pound division, and it is for the title. It is brought to you by Freedom Bail Bonds, and Angel Ortiz is here with the fighter instructions.
All right, gentlemen, we went over the rules earlier today. This is a glory rules bout. That means no elbows, right? Knees to the head are good to go. All right? Obey my commands at all times. Protect yourselves at all times. Fight clean, fight hard. It's for a title. Touch gloves, go back to neutral corners, get ready to come out fighting.
Okay, as you heard from Angel Ortiz, this is a glory rules bout, which also means that you have 5 seconds to work in a clinch. That is 5 seconds at a maximum. Angel Ortiz also, they do not need to be cordial about breaks. As long as referee Angel Ortiz calls break, they are supposed to let go, but they are free to fire at any moment. They do not have to wait for Angel to step away.
Garcia attempting to approach the reigning defending champion of Josh Otero here, trying to buy space center stage, but Josh Otero has so much experience, and that's kind of showing in this game. Both are fighting at neutral range already. Anthony Garcia was sent back once. Let's see how his approach is going to adapt.
He's also way more grounded. He has way more bend to his knees, wider stance. Ooh, but gets that kick checked. You're seeing with also in these kickboxing bouts, the guys who are really sending their kicks are also sending their weight off their foot. So if they don't hit the target right, or if they get a weird hit in there, they will go off their feet.
And we've planted the seeds in previous bouts talking about what it looks like to check, to respond to attacks, and we are seeing Josh Otero putting on a clinic right now, stuffing a lot of Anthony Garcia's attempts to get in here. Once again, fishing for space with these kicks and these knees, turning it back around with 3-piece combos of his own. Anthony Garcia needs to find a strategy, and I think the weight of this title fight is now dawning upon him. He sees just how much Josh Otero is ready to navigate these fights. Anthony Garcia trying to round the corner there, but good blading of the hips by Josh Otero is going to help defend against that kick.
Otero is also just sitting down on more. He throws a kick, the leg gets picked up. Garcia throws a kick, it taps, leaves a red mark. But one of them's moving the other. Now, Garcia really has good boxing. I think a big miscalculation is not returning off these inside kicks. He's throwing his own, yes, but he's getting touched and just kind of staring back. He is not having an immediate hard return.
Center of the ring for both of these fights.
Good right hand, though.
Garcia finally finding an opening here. Josh Otero trying to fire back, but this time around the volume is on the red corner side. And once again, Anthony Garcia has attempted to advance. Josh Otero making him respect the distance, though, and there's the bell to signal the end of the first of these 5 rounds. Great adaptation here from the challenger, making a statement.
Absolutely, Anthony Garcia, my bad, he's the southpaw. He was firing down clean left hands, right down the center. He finally found his get a replay right there. Just getting kind of quick off balance. Now, Anthony Garcia started to drill down the left hands. His stance has been really great for boxing, a little bit wider, a little more agile knees. However, he's not returning quick. Part of that has to do with the stance. His stance is wide right now, so Otero, narrow feet also means his center of mass is right on top of those feet, can quickly fire kicks. Anthony Garcia, a little wider base, more boxing as you're seeing that these hooks, these uppercuts, these straight left hands are having great effects for him because of that width of the legs, but it also means kick returning is a sluggish action for him.
Both athletes attempting to recover what strength they can at the start of this. You talked about it a little bit, Liam, but these championship rounds, numbers 4 and 5, could be real decision makers here and a real test for Anthony Garcia in particular. Good job, though, setting up and bringing Josh Otero off balance with that turn of the hips right there. Josh Otero, though, right back to his feet, attempting to change and check blows. Anthony Garcia, though, with a good high kick there, going to bounce off the guard of Josh, but still a lot of force being translated into his arm.
Garcia's being a little more patient on the outside, trying to pull out some attacks. He's now starting to also lift up his legs, trying to get that target out of the way.
And that's what I
good
want to see out of
left hand.
Anthony Garcia, advancing past these kicks into the guard of Josh Otero, getting a few good little plugs in there.
I like Otero aiming that rear teep kick up high, really trying to make Garcia respect this invisible wall Otero's setting up.
Yep, and now he's beginning to really control space. Anthony Garcia, good job rotating around, not getting stuck into the corner. Short clinch situation right there. Both of these just going to back off. Like you said, glory rules. That means he can't clinch up. Go to that as a stabilizing factor in many of these situations. It's going to be quickly broken. No scoring opportunities there. As once again, we are back to a striking game plan between the two of them.
He kind of meets Garcia right there with the kick. Garcia kind of goes in, gets a nice shin across the glove.
Still in the open stance right now. Long range may benefit the slightly taller Josh Otero here, doing a good job using that trailing foot for sure. But Anthony Garcia is the one who's trying to buy space. Center of the ring now. Keeping that guard high up here, but that was a punch that almost grazed the forehead. Got to be careful of that situation. Josh Otero can turn one opening into a massive series of combos that can easily put someone down.
Anthony Garcia's just a little too one note here. Fires 1, 2, maybe even 3 strikes at once. But Otero, just a constant flow. Maybe not long combinations, but very quick to pull triggers.
Oh! The second round, solid contact made, but no real follow through allowed as Angel Ortiz will break it up. But a solid statement there at the very end.
Absolutely solid statement. Garcia's here to fight. Garcia's here. He's a gamer here. Now that said, he's up against Josh Otero. Very measured, very experienced, also like not getting punished when he fires. Very consistently firing and not getting punished is a dangerous combination to allow at any level. I'd like to see Anthony Garcia extend the combinations, but again, as much as I'd like to ask that, he's being interrupted beautifully by Josh Otero.
Right now, though, I don't think that any of the contact we've seen is going to do too much to deter either of these fighters from pushing into those championship rounds. So there's still an opportunity on either side to make that first big explosive statement in the course of this. What times we've seen one of these fighters hit the mat has typically just been quick little slip-ups, quick little flicks, but one time we see someone staggered and that could be it. Both of these fighters, clear opportunists. That's how they built out these impressive records, as now Josh Otero stands center stage ready to take on Anthony Garcia for the third round.
You know, we did see Anthony Garcia affect his stance. Now he's standing much more narrow. He goes back into the boxing stance on occasion, but he pulled his feet together just to be a little more agile to defend.
Anthony Garcia fishing, spacing off that kick here.
You know, Otero also just a beautiful balancer. He sometimes even fire a leg, chamber it up high, never put the foot back down, and just fire a teep right away.
Like the low kick, a little bit of a mix-up from Anthony Garcia, but it is an awkward cross body that you have to do given this open stance here, which I think that Josh Otero, just clearly being the southpaw, is a little bit more comfortable fighting it right now.
And like, I'd love Garcia to develop a much stronger left side body kick. Right there! Like, why has that not been a staple offensive weapon throughout the night? He's probably thrown it, but it's not been something that we've seen like as a big statement piece of his game plan.
Well, let's see. I think he got some benefit off of that. May start going for it a little bit more here. Josh Otero, though, now sees that as an angle that he's going to have to contend with as well. See how he closes that stance, bringing that leg up as soon as he sees Anthony Garcia winding with that trailing foot.
Now, like, one thing that Anthony Garcia is keeping his hand up. I don't necessarily love fighters just taking kicks on a guard. But right there, like, if you get that hand touch, as it's not an easy thing I'm about to ask, but you have to return quick. Every second 1 foot is off the floor is your time to fire at somebody because they ain't moving. Oh, and he grabs the kick a little bit, throws Otero off balance. He's feeling a little bit in that shoulder, getting up, shrugging it off. Let's see if it affects him.
One of the other things to note is right under the right shoulder of Otero, you do see that bruise starting to form. So that was a really solid shot to that side of the body that Anthony Garcia can continue to capitalize on. He's closing the stance a little bit more now by advancing forward with his guard up. But Josh Otero is right back to bringing tempo into his favor. A little bit afraid for Anthony Garcia. Now close to the corner. There's a sweep right back. Good stuff from the champion.
Absolutely. Doing a good job. Now just press forward, trying to bully him back. We got a fight here. I mean, as the rounds are going on, you're seeing the punch-heavy game of Garcia maybe find its opportunities, but Josh Otero not giving up, always pushing forward, kind of bullying our guy Anthony Garcia back. I'd say right now the biggest thing is you're seeing an experience gap. Anthony Garcia is 5 fights in. He's no slouch by any means, but we are not seeing him used to a pace of firing, a pace of fight like Josh Otero. The constant, relentless firing that Josh is able to implement is not something that I think Anthony has had to face in his 5 bouts so far.
And you can see how controlled Josh Otero is in regards to the volume that he's putting out. When we talk about volume, you know, we can conjure images of some of the bouts that we saw, especially in the lower card, that was just wild, swinging haymakers left, right, and center. Josh Otero knows that he doesn't have to do that while he can still keep the tempo in his favor. He's thinking strategically about where to land blows, and it's just the fact that Anthony Garcia is giving him a lot of openings. Now we're moving into our championship rounds. Let's see how the adaptations come through. Anthony Garcia, maybe in unknown waters here.
Ooh, Otero delivering his open side kick.
Continue to advance. Spin turns his back here. Anthony Garcia can't quite capitalize on such a fast move. Tries to catch that trailing leg here. Good response, but Josh Otero couldn't find enough of a follow through. Anthony Garcia
did a good job now trying to manipulate the kicks after defending. I really think that's a powerful advancement he can make late in these rounds. He is up against it though. We don't know the judges' scorecard, but he so far seems to be fighting against it, but delivers two good left hooks.
Second time Garcia has almost caught that leg of Josh Otero here. Unfortunately, just hasn't been able to turn it into a lot. Josh Otero almost seems to read that coming, immediately starts to bring in his feet in fist as well. And now with that spinning kick, he's still got some style about him. Finally, Anthony Garcia able to get one across the guard there. Let's see what he's going to turn that into.
And look, it took 3 shots. It took a punch, a kick, and then the 3rd shot landed, and probably maybe had some more left over there, but he did a good job getting out of dodge. I really think Garcia, as these rounds go on, and Otero has to manage the gas tank with all these kicks, there's an opportunity for Garcia if he just throws a 3rd, throws a 4th punch.
Good kick off the ribs of Josh Otero. There's not a whole lot of force behind it, but once again, it is to that vulnerable right side, and he is beginning to employ that left leg a little bit more. Ooh, big approaching punch, but Josh Otero has his wits about him, and as you said, very, very quick on the come up. Gonna catch the leg of Garcia, pushes them towards the corner. We do see a clinch immediately going to be dropped as Josh Otero is gonna space people out with a front kick. 12 seconds left in this bout, or in this round, excuse me. 1 round left after this one, and Anthony Garcia feels the pressure. He's trying to play more aggressive now.
Absolutely. I think this is probably Garcia's best round so far. Really able to build some forward momentum. He did take his licks during it, but we're now starting to see him pour it on. Otero, at this point, needs to go back and find some more damage. He really did a great job, I think, kind of letting Garcia slip away from a clinch, but shooting up a quick kick, catching a kick, delivering just a drill of a right hand. But again, we're starting to see momentum shift right here with Josh Otero, defending champion, has to think about asserting himself just that little bit more.
1 more round left between these two fighters to really make distance versus one another. I'm kind of with you here, Liam. I do think that Josh Otero's overall game plan has proven rock solid. We haven't seen him scramble for adaptations, and even though, he's still blocking about 90% of all things coming his way, there is 10% getting through. Anthony Garcia really needs to make the most of that and make a statement here in this final round. Otherwise, Otero might just continue to reign with his title.
Both men meet in the middle for the 5th and final round. Angel touches the glove for him, so they don't got to worry about it once we get started. He's being both aware this is the last opportunity you get to take what you want.
And I think we're going to be seeing a lot of adaptive aggression. Great job pinning the knee, immediately going for a shot across the face of Josh Otero. Anthony Garcia adapting, building out, using the last dregs of his energy and looking for a new approach right now. Josh Otero keeping that guard high is going to stop those shots from making too much of an impact here. Grabs the leg though, Anthony Garcia really making a statement.
Yeah, this was a very explicit adjustment that Garcia has made. He's no longer just defending and blocking a kick. He's defending and catching. He's defending, manipulating it with brush with brush techniques, and he's getting Otero to stay a little bit closer to him. A great left hand to the body, returns a kick up top. This could have been a winning strategy for him earlier on. Let's see if he can use it to good effect in this final round.
He's got about 1:10 left to finally make a mark in this one. Good job chaining together these shots, but I think Otero is beginning to adjust as well. So deep into these championship rounds, he is still evolving and developing, proving why he's the reigning champion of this 125-pound division. As Anthony Garcia has to go back there, try to find something else, and he gets met straight in the nose.
Oh, he got in with a kick. The mouth guard fell out. We're going to pour it on.
Oh, my God.
Angel stopping it. He saw the mouth guard come out. Oh, right as Garcia was building so well. He was the one ending all the exchanges, exclamating, and he gets hit with a big kick up top.
Manages to destabilize Josh Otero, but only 31 seconds left. Anthony Garcia has got to use all that he has here if he wants to look good on the judges' scorecards. Multiple shots coming out to the head of Otero, but they are blocked by the blue corner.
Garcia is really trying to sing it home. He has these right hands, and he's landing with power, but he has to keep those hands up as he flings it, or else he's putting himself in danger as well, but he has to. It is risk or go home empty for him at this moment.
5 seconds left on the clock. He needs something big, but Otero is going to continue to zone him out, and that will be it. Beautiful showing from both of these fighters, but with that decisive exchange going in favor of Josh Otero, once that mouth guard came out, I do feel like he's going to be retaining.
Likely, I do think. Now, the ground control corner is wild. They love the performance that their fighter gave them. I even saw the coach yell, "You won." Now, I don't know if that's him like truly believing his fighter is going to take home a belt tonight, or him just saying, "Hey, no matter what, you won tonight. You showed heart, you showed grit, you showed adjustment." I will say that was a beautiful adjustment from their corner. Start to catch the kicks, keep your fighter in range for you to return with the boxing. But I will say the flaw in it was just how late it came. I do think Josh Otero built up a beautiful game plan for the first 3 rounds, really keeping him at bay. Anthony Garcia had a hard time closing distance, kept getting interrupted with the kicks, kept getting interrupted with the elbows, with the punches. But Josh Otero did slow down, and Anthony Garcia only built up with an explosive 5th round. But that said, it only takes 1 shot, and it was a right high kick that met Anthony Garcia on the nose that sent him stumbling back. I even think that 5th round could still go to Josh Otero, even though he was on the receiving side of a good amount of damage.
Win or lose, though, this has been an impressive showing, and Anthony Garcia's got to be proud of his performance, even if he didn't walk away with the title here. Fact of the matter is he showed that he could hang with somebody with 17 fights in Muay Thai under their belt here and now. We're going to throw it back over to Chris Fuller in just a second in order for him to call the decision and make the result of this fight official.
Looks like the judges are actually still tallying it up for a moment. I will say, again, there's no losing right now. This is one of the greatest lessons. It might bring your record down to 4-2, but that 1 L on the record can lead to so many more victories. The knowledge he gained, the grit he gained, and the confidence he can gain from it. Looks like Chris has collected all the scorecards, and we're going to be leaving to him to make it official who goes home with the TCB 125-pound title tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 5 rounds of action, we go to the judges' scorecard for a decision. But ladies and gentlemen, that is what a championship fight looks like right there. Let's hear it for both these fighters, putting on a great show. Judge 1 has scored the bout 49-46. Judge 2 has scored the bout 48-47. And Judge 3 has scored the bout 48-47, all in favor of your winner by unanimous decision. And still TCB 125-pound champion, it's Josh Otero.
Great job, Josh Otero, taking it with 3 rounds. The first 3 just setting a brilliant game plan, using his experience to get ahead early. But all credit to Anthony Garcia, a game challenger who has a lot to give us in the future here. But it is Josh Otero's night. He retains his title and moves to 12-6 in his career. Oh, and just showing off now with all the belts he's won.
Getting stacked up right there, center stage. Before we throw it over to a quick break, we will have Jess giving an interview with the victor of this fight.
Josh, what's going on? That's amazing. What a fight. Give it up again, TCB. That was an amazing, incredible fight to watch. How does this feel?
Feels really good. We worked really hard on this fight. I had a long layoff from when I came back from Thailand back in March. And then, kind of traveled a little bit, did some work in Puerto Rico, and was able to get some good boxing in. Didn't show it as much tonight, kind of relied on a few other parts of my game here. But I'm glad that we were able to come out here and have a great fight and put on a great fight for all you guys.
It was an excellent fight. And I want to ask you, your game plan looked really solid coming in, but he did make adjustments in that 5th round. And I saw it, and you stayed pretty focused, but you had to adjust also. What was that like? What was going through your head, and how did you do that?
Well, a big part of that comes from my coach here, Coach Adam. He is always there making sure that I'm sharp, that I'm able to adjust on game plans and stuff like that. We knew what was going to happen if something went wrong, so we kind of worked on all that. But, it worked out pretty well. We always have to make a couple adjustments. Nothing ever goes, always according to plan, and I'm glad we were able to do that.
It's not easy to do, so well done on that. And I did listen to your corner the whole time. I pay attention, and I pay attention to what corners say. And how much of that are you hearing, and how, are you focusing in on that, or do you not hear it at all?
Always. We are always working on, staying focused in the gym, working, making sure we can listen well. We knew what was going to happen, like I said, if something was going to go wrong, so we knew kind of how to course correct. And my coach here is always getting on me about certain things, and I'm sure I have a lot of things I'm going to hear about this weekend and going back to the gym, so I can't wait for that.
That's what makes a good coach and makes us grow. Congratulations again, Josh. It was a pleasure.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's our very own Jess from the Tribe Called Jess podcast, which takes place right here at the Salisbury Center podcast.